segment.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Welcome to Manic with the Mic, the podcast where chaotic thoughts meet honest conversations. I'm Morgan, and this is unpacking life, healing, friendships, and whatever spiral we are currently in. If you've ever had big feelings and no outlet, you're in the right place. Grab a snack, take a breath, and let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so this is my friend Laurel.
Hi.
Do you want to explain how we became friends at a red light?
We did become friends at a red light. Are we going to talk about how we were enemies first, or just...
We can.
Okay. I mean, it's transparency. I was seeing someone at the time for over 2 years, and we broke up, and they started talking to Morgan. I learned of her, and I was not happy about her at all. So we kind of hated each other for no reason. And then one day I saw her at a red light crying in her car. I looked over to the left of me, and she was having a moment for sure. And I was like, I felt convicted. I had to reach out to her. So I did. And I was like, Morgan, do you drive a white car? And she was like, yeah, why? And I'm like, I just saw you having a moment at the red light, and I wanted to check on you. And so we've literally talked every day since then.
Yeah. And now she's become a big part of my everyday life.
We're on very similar journeys,
Yeah.
I think.
So that kind of gets into this episode. So just a heads up, in this episode, we're talking about mental health from our own experiences.
Very personal experiences.
But this isn't therapy. This isn't advice. We're definitely not professionals, but this is going to be real. If something hits you close to home, please feel free to pause, skip, take a breath, whatever.
Talk to someone.
Yeah. Get support.
Yeah.
This is just kind of like our experience. Not everyone has the same
And it's going to be
experience.
probably very raw and real, but that's what we're here for.
Okay, so when did you first realize, we both have BPD?
We do. I'll touch on that, but I knew I had it for a long time, but you just recently
Got diagnosed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I also had known for a couple of years.
Undiagnosed, you feel?
Yeah.
You kind of self-diagnosed?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, from TikTok, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it can teach you a lot.
And then I went and saw somebody, finally, and they tested me, and I do, in fact, have BPD.
Well, you're not alone, so.
So when did you realize that your emotions weren't normal intense, but intense?
Well, I felt very normal for a long time because I was married. I was in a very traditional marriage. It was me and my husband. We have 2 children together. So we lived a very just simple life. I did feel very normal. I never felt crazy or anything like that. And then it was, I was having an affair with a biological woman. And that kind of opened up like a huge can of worms for me, just trying to, I guess, rediscover who I was as a person. And it was a huge change for me, but with my affair came a lot of negative feedback. It was the first time I had ever been blasted or exposed all over the internet for a lot of things, and this brought up a lot for me. I just knew between my separation, my divorce, this new relationship, my sexuality, and all of the feedback that came with it, that I needed help. I knew that I did not feel normal. I started to feel crazy, did not know how to navigate all this on my own. So I ended up seeing a psychiatrist that diagnosed me BPD, and it all made sense. Everything that I felt basically was just given to me in a diagnosis. And so I was never ashamed of it or anything like that. I took it head on, and I was like, this makes sense. This is how I feel, and that's what professionals are for. So they diagnosed me with that, and then they put me on some medication and some mood stabilizers, and I'm not embarrassed of it. I mean, this was back in the very beginning of 2024, so 2 years now I've known I've had it, and I try to take it very seriously. I do. It's not for the weak.
Thanks for being so vulnerable.
Yeah.
I'm actually shook how open you just were, so I appreciate you sharing that with everyone.
Yeah.
So the segment of today is the manic check-in. How unhinged are we today?
Well, I woke up fine. I was not feeling unhinged at all. And then I feel like just being as raw as I can be, social media tends to be a negative thing for me sometimes. They say old habits die hard. So for me, it's kind of looking back at things or checking into things that I really shouldn't, because they say like you can't heal in the same environment that obviously hurt you.
Yep.
And so for me, I was great today. And then I saw some things, I'm not going to say exactly what, but just seeing things kind of re-expose some feelings for me and upset me a little bit. And I felt like I could have crashed out a little bit, but I didn't. And that's, I feel like, the beauty.
On growth.
Literally on growth. Because to talk about BPD, you would have to see some of the moments that I have lived through. And it got embarrassing for quite some time. Like, there's some videos of me that have gone around, and
it is quite embarrassing.
It is. It can be embarrassing. I'm not embarrassed of the diagnosis.
Embarrassed of how I act sometimes.
I'm embarrassed of myself.
The crash outs.
Yes. They become
and I feel like social media kind of like romanticizes or almost makes it like a funny, like, ha ha ha, I'm crashing out, like on social media, and you don't realize like until after, like,
live it.
Oh my God, like that was not cute.
No, and I do own a business, and that is what hurt me the most. Was I own a daycare, so unfortunately I already feel like I have my head on the chopping block all the time, because I'm supposed to be this like well put together professional person around children, but people do forget I have an identity and a life outside of that. And so basically, like, when everything kind of spiraled with my affair and everything went on the internet, I lost a lot of business. And looking back now, I'm ashamed of a lot of episodes I had, because I'm like, why did I let myself get to that point? Or I should have thought more about my business, my daycare, my kids, all of it. But when you're in a moment, I mean, when you're in an episode like that, you're not thinking of anything. You're not thinking about the consequences. I'm like, you could have went to jail. You could have, there's just so many things that could have happened.
Lost your kid. Yeah. You could have lost your business.
It's not you.
Yeah.
And you know that it's not you. That's why they call it borderline personality disorder, because you can be normal, and you're a sweet, soft person on the inside, but certain things trigger these episodes, and it's like, looking back, I'm like, oh my God, who was that girl? Because that was not me.
She needed an exorcism.
Someone needed to whoop her behind, but that is part of it. And I like to be raw about it because, like you say, they romanticize it, but they sugarcoat it. People are like, well, I'm bipolar or I'm crazy or whatever, but it's not cute. Like, like, I feel like to be an advocate for mental health and to routinely treat it is important, because if not, we'll just all be crashing out all the time. It's not cute.
Okay, so spiral of the week. Do you have any spirals from this week, Laurel?
Well, spirals, no. I'm proud of myself because I've been doing a lot better than I thought. So my relationship ended. I had the affair. I risked everything for this relationship, and then I just kind of fell flat on my ass with it, which everything happens for a reason. But I feel like I'm proud of myself because through all of that, I've also taken on new friendships. My sister is currently living with me again. It's been a lot on my plate just in general, but I don't feel like I'm spiraling anymore, and I'm proud of myself for that, because I would wake up and just check social media and just kind of eat myself alive with certain things, and I don't anymore. So when they talk about growth, it's true. I am proud of myself. I'm not spiraling. And I had a moment this morning that
but I feel like
affected me, but I didn't let it
affect you, and you didn't let it ruin your whole day.
I didn't let it consume me. I didn't carry on about it. I didn't freak out. The old me would have texted this person and been like, X, Y, Z, but I didn't. And I'm like, there are better days. So no, I'm not spiraling and I'm not unhinged.
I love
How about you?
I've had worse days.
Yeah.
I've had better.
Definitely. I mean, we've all. Yeah.
Okay, so we're being real raw here.
We are. That's the point.
called my ex last night.
Yeah.
Still blocked.
Hey, God's plan. I mean, it could be God's protection that you're still blocked. You never know.
And I keep trying to tell myself that.
I know it's hard.
Because when you get out of the relationship and you kind of look in, you start to notice things that you didn't notice when you were in the relationship.
Yeah.
That were red flags or that weren't okay.
Duh. I had to teach myself that red flags never turn green.
Right.
They will always be red. But we're human.
Mm-hmm.
All you can do is self-reflect. And I'm not being cliche. Like when you say you look at things now that you wouldn't have noticed then, it's because we have this illusion of love. It's like, well, I don't care if they didn't accept my children, or I don't care if they didn't treat me good.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to be loved so bad that you settle for these things. And then when you are out of that situation and you look back on it, you're like, well, I don't deserve that, or my kids didn't deserve that. And so even though they're red flags, they're really hard lessons. I feel like they have to be learned.
That's a big one for us, is the kids thing.
Your kids never go away. I don't care the situation, whether you foster, adopt, have biological children, they are a part of you. And it took me a long time to understand that I have to protect them. Because for me, I feel like my skin is so thick that I could have just kept going through hell over and over and over again, and I would have just kept getting back up and whatever. But when I finally realized, I swear it was like God whispered to me that day. He was like, Laurel, if you're not going to do it for yourself, you've got to do it for your kids. And I got out. And I'm not talking down on anyone specifically or individually. I'm not. I'm just saying for my situation, I knew I needed to be a better mother to my kids. And so when I felt that little whisper that day, I left, and I've never been back. And I'm not being ugly. I'm just being real. And so that's huge. Is always put your kids first. And
I think that is like one of my biggest regrets. But I also think that was God was saying, like, okay, well, you're not going to leave her. So
on your own.
So this is me not giving you a choice.
Yeah.
She's going to leave you, and this is going to be
a lesson.
This is for the best for you, and especially for your kid.
I mean, everybody that's in difficult relationships, they always say, like, you'll never leave on your own. But I always hear God hears conversations that we don't. And so he will allow a person to make you uncomfortable or hurt you over and over again until you found the strength to leave. Or if he feels like you're not going to find the strength, they're going to leave you. Yep. Because, I mean, why would we move if we were comfortable for so long? So it happens.
So do you always know when you're splitting, or only in hindsight, like, oh, that was insane? Like, do you know, like, when you're splitting, or is it after for you?
No, I mean, there have been times where it was after, but I'm going to be transparent 95% of the time. I know it's happening. I'm like, it's here, it's now. I can't stop it.
I know this is crazy, and I'm still going to do it.
I'm going to look back on this and probably be ashamed of it, but I'm still going to do it. I have shown up to places abruptly and uninvited where I shouldn't. I've put myself...
Driving past places.
Mm-hmm. Driving past, showing up, phone calls. I mean, I'm going to be real, are some phone calls that have been recorded, some conversations that I'm not proud of, some videos that I'm not proud of, especially as a business owner and a mother. I'm very disappointed in those. But we've talked about this before. When you're in those episodes, you know you're in them, and you know you're being a complete maniac.
Yep.
But you cannot stop it. And that is part of the diagnosis. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about the highs and lows enough. They're really significant. Yep. When it's high, it's high. When it's low, it's dangerously low sometimes. But for me, I always know I'm about to crank it up. I know it's coming, and I feel it coming, but you really can't stop it.
And I feel like that's another thing when people are like, just take a breath, or
don't tell me that.
Like, I feel like people don't really understand how difficult it is with BPD to just calm down.
Stop doing that. Take a breath. Go outside and get some fresh air. It's like,
I'm already here.
I want to burn the building down, and you're telling me to take a breath. Mm-hmm. And I get it. People that don't understand it, you can't fault them for that. But until you physically live with the diagnosis. And I've always said, I will never use my diagnosis as an excuse. I'm not going to use it to treat someone poorly. I'm not going to use it to be crazy and then be like, well, it was my condition.
It was
I'm
my
not
BPD.
Ever,
it was the BPD.
Never going to blame it on that. But I'm just saying, until you live it, you truly don't know. And just telling someone you need to calm down or take a breath, that's not going to help. Mm-hmm. It's just not.
And I feel like that's another thing with like BPD. It's like you literally flip a switch. And like when you're there, you're here. Like you're
level 10, you cannot stop it. It is a switch. And it is, I mean, BPD can be borderline personality disorder or bipolar disorder. Mm-hmm. For me, it's the personalities, and I feel it. Mm-hmm. I can feel that I'm like, I'm taking it to that level. I don't care. But then when I look back, I'm like, it is a shame because like people get a softer, sweeter version of me, and I know that that wasn't me, but like you truly can't help it.
Right. What belief did you hold in the past that embarrasses you now? Do you have any?
A belief?
Yep.
No, I'm one of those people, as cliche as it is, I feel like you have to go through seasons no matter what. And so like for me, I wanted to be honest with myself for a long time. And so I did have an affair with a biological woman. And for me, I believed that I was doing the right thing. But if I wouldn't have gone through that in that specific relationship, there's so many things I wouldn't have learned. And so I don't think that there's any particular beliefs, and there's certainly nothing that I'm embarrassed of because I feel like these lessons I value who I am now.
Period. What keeps you up at 3 a.m.?
Currently nothing anymore, but previously in most of the last 2 years of my life, just trauma. I mean, I would roll over sometimes and check my phone, and when me and this person would go no contact or not speak, it was like my body would shut down. My nervous system has been a wreck for so long, and so
shakes, throwing up.
There was a lot of restless nights. Oh yeah, I've hugged the toilet many times just because people don't talk enough about panic attacks. And I feel like that term is thrown around too loosely. Like they're like, I'm gonna have a panic attack. You're not though.
Yeah.
Until you truly live it. I'm talking sliding down the wall, gasping for air, you can't breathe, you're sick to your stomach. Until you go through certain things in your life, you truly don't understand.
There is an elephant on your chest and you think you were actually dying.
I'm gasping for air. And people are like, I need to take a Xanax. I just need to calm down. I'm like, you just have no idea. Like,
yeah.
So for me, I can honestly say nothing keeps me awake anymore. Sometimes just trying to shut my mind off. But back then, you nailed it. The shakes, the sick, the crying, the screaming, the just gasping for air. I don't wish that on anybody, to be honest. But I sleep pretty comfortably now.
I love that for you. My favorite is, like you said, the sliding down the wall. Gosh. The shower, when you're sitting there crying and nothing's coming out and you're just sobbing and there's nothing coming out.
No, I know. And I will even say for the people who are medicated with this diagnosis, how crucial it is to pick whether or not you're going to be on it. Like, because some people have it and they don't take their medicine because they feel like they can kind of regulate things on their own. But if you're going to be on it, I highly encourage you to stay on it and do not miss a dose, because the times that I've missed a dose was the sliding down the wall, and I didn't know if I wanted to contemplate a homicide or suicide. And that's not that I would actually ever do it, but like it just makes you feel insane, hopeless, helpless. I would just beg and cry and plead with God.
And like that's another thing I think we can touch on is these thoughts that come into your head. Like you said, the homicide, the suicide, and like we say it as a joke.
Yeah, but, figuratively speaking, but
there are these times when you're like, I would be better off.
Yeah.
The world would be better off. I just want to end it.
But the enemy is a liar, and I feel like with this diagnosis, we are our own worst critic. But we get in our head and it's just lies. And I had to stop believing it, because I would say that. I would be like, my kids are better off without me. My family wouldn't miss me, because I'm just being real. My family did not accept my relationship at the time, a same-sex relationship. And that was extremely difficult for me going through those 2 years alone. I was abandoned and rejected. My reputation tarnished. I lost friends and stuff. And so being alone, I swear there were times where I said, my kids they're better off with someone else, and my family wouldn't miss me because they're so disappointed in me anyways. And my daycare is literally crumbling before my eyes. I just want out. And that is very sad looking back,
Right.
realizing that I let myself get to that low of a time in my life. But I always tell everybody that every storm has to run out of rain at some point, and I'm just thankful.
I like that. I've never heard that before.
I mean, think about it. I mean, it could be the gusts, it doesn't matter if it's Category 5 hurricane, eventually it's going to run out of rain, So.
This is one of my favorite questions. When did you realize that you were the problem?
I realized that I was problematic in this relationship when I wasn't being true to them when it pertained to my ex-husband.
Okay.
It was very tricky being in a relationship where I still had to co-parent with another person. So I was constantly dancing with the devil between being respectful to my partner and trying to set boundaries, but also realizing like I have to share kids with this man. He's never going to leave my life. And so I'm just going to be honest. There were things that I should have been better at. There were boundaries I should have put forth a long time ago, and I didn't. And I'm very accountable for those mistakes. My relationship was very toxic, but I don't speak enough about why it was so toxic. People from the outside looking in just paint it as they were argumentative. They did things in front of kids. They should be ashamed, yada, yada, yada. But for me, I can say looking back now that it was 100% wrong of me to do some of the things I did within the relationship. And it was wrong. I take full accountability for it. And this relationship taught me that.
So do you think, so you're back with
my kid's father?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Do you regret this relationship, or do you think that it taught you?
I had to have it.
Okay.
I have struggled with my sexuality since I was a young girl, and I'm just being very vulnerable about that. I mean, I grew up in a very old school traditional family. A man and a woman should be married and have children, and you don't have kids out of wedlock and XYZ, but I knew I was different for a long time. And so for me, it took me venturing out of my comfort zone, being true to this is how you feel, you like women as well. And so I am ashamed of how I did it because the person at the time was also married and I was also married. And so we could have went about it a completely different way. I felt like that's why we had so much backlash, was because we just looked like big fat cheaters. But I do not regret anything. I needed that relationship. I'm going to be honest. It taught me a different kind of love. But for many, 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 many months, that person gave me a backbone. Like, when I went through it, I was in the trenches. I'm not going to lie to you. I felt very alone, like I had no one, and that person was the only one that protected me, stood up for me. And so looking back now, I hate that I hurt people in the process, but I will never, ever regret that relationship. It taught me things that I needed to learn.
What is something that you wish partners understood about loving somebody with BPD?
Just give grace. I know that sounds cliche, but especially for a person, I'll speak on my kid's dad. He doesn't deal with mental health. I feel like he doesn't take it seriously, so to say. And so, I don't need therapy and I don't need church and I don't need this. And, that's great. But I feel like if I could just teach someone anything, it would be.
I do feel like that's a man thing now.
It is. And it's pride. And it's okay, cool. You're just going to, I guess, self-soothe in your own way. But for me, if I could give any advice, it would be, there are going to be a lot of days where I feel like I can't give 100%. So if I can only give 80, please just pick up the extra slack. You truly don't know in here how dark it can be sometimes. And if you could just give patience and grace, it can go a long way. I feel like Being with a man, first of all, it's the simplicity of things. People drill it in your head like you need to be with a man and this is what's best for your kids. But for me, I guess living with a woman or being with a woman, it's almost like having a sleepover with your best friend every day. And
In tuned emotionally.
100%. It's an emotional thing, and it's more of a friendship on. I mean, women know each other.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing that you can tell a woman that they won't already know. And so I feel like being with a woman is exciting and scary all at the same time.
How do you tell the difference between your intuition and it just being an abandonment fear? So I'm working with my therapist about this right now, telling the difference between, okay, is it my fear talking, or is it actual intuition telling me that this is a red flag?
I mean, for me personally, my intuition's never off. So I feel like if you can be as in tune as possible with that, you should be able to tell the difference. I mean, we're women, and our intuition never lies. I can't give us a specific example, but I just always know. And like, I know if someone's not being honest with me, or if the situation is, I'm like, no, I'm not crazy. Well, I am crazy,
Right.
but I'm not making that up. And this is reality. And I don't know, my intuition, it never lies to me. So I just pay as close attention as you can to that.
I think like my big thing right now is I'll try to like talk myself out of things, and I'll be like, it's just my BPD. Mm-hmm. But then I end up being right.
Well,
and I'm like, so it was my intuition.
Yeah, just try to be.
I'm not insane.
Well, we are to an extent, but try to pay more attention to that. But you know, with BPD, I realized I never knew before, comes with buku self-sabotage. It's like we sabotage things, and it's like we don't believe that good things can come or that we deserve these things or whatever. And so it kind of reminds me of when you're talking about, is it a fear? I'm like, why are you about to self-sabotage this? Like, just let it be. Like, let the cards fall how they're supposed to fall, you know?
What's the most self-aware thought you've had mid-spiral? So, like, for me, I have said before, I know I'm being crazy, but I don't care. Mm-hmm. I can't stop it, and this is just what my body does. So, what's
self-aware?
Yeah, like, what's, like, a thought you've had mid-spiral that you're, like, kind of like what we've already said, like, I know this is... I know that what I'm doing right now is actually insane, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Well, I think in my situation, these episodes came within my relationship with the other person. And so I always told myself, number one, you have to remember that you're sharing kids with someone who's pretty angry with you. And so it's like, if I do something that can't be undone, it's you're going to get your kids taken, or I always go back to the daycare. It's like, I have got to be professional and better than that, because I don't want my face all over the news. It's always been, I know that I'm crazy, but I would kind of talk myself down, because I would say, I can't lose my kids and I can't risk my business. And so I knew I was being crazy, but I would have to be more self-aware of that. I would always go back to that.
Do you ever miss the chaos version of yourself?
No. But I would be lying if I said that I'm not used to that. Do I miss it? No, because like, who wants to be around someone like that? I mean, it was to the point where I pushed family away. I pushed a lot of people away because they were like, you're fucking nuts, you know? But so I don't miss it, because I feel like that version was extremely unhealthy. But I'd be lying if I said that's all I know. That's all I'm used to. I have to like almost rewire my brain to be like, unlearn those toxic behaviors. I lived it for so long.
And the last one, what would you tell someone who just got diagnosed and is terrified that they have BPD?
They just got diagnosed with it?
Yep.
I would tell them, like I told you, don't be ashamed of it. There's not anything wrong with you. You don't have like a disability that can't be dealt with. My biggest piece of advice would be, for me, I need to take my own advice, but please routinely take your medicine. Take your medicine, and if anyone tries to tell you that there's anything wrong with therapy, they're lying. The fact that you're even seeking help or answers in general speaks loudly about you.
It says that you want help.
It says that you're acknowledging something may be off about you, or that you're needing help, or you're struggling with something. And so that alone, knowing that there are so many professionals out there, whether it's the doctors, the therapist, if you want to go to church, any of that. I don't push my beliefs down people's throat, but if I could tell anyone anything, it would be, there's nothing wrong with you. You're okay. And just take care of yourself, and it's going to be okay.
I love that. Do you want to read the outro?
Sure. Thank you for hanging out with us on Manics with a Mic. If this episode felt a little too relatable, make sure to follow the show and share it with a friend who's also just trying their best. You can find us on social media.
On TikTok and on YouTube.
Yeah. Until next time, stay self-aware, stay honest, and remember, you're not crazy. Don't text your ex. Look, if you're in no contact, don't break it. Do not break it. And you're just a manic with a mic.
Thanks, guys.